to join. We are so honored that you're spending this hour together with us, especially considering the weather and the snow and so many competing priorities. If you don't mind, would you please mute your audio if you're not speaking, just so that we can try to streamline as much as possible throughout the meeting. Today, we're going to be celebrating a partnership that has been continuing to grow over the last 12, 13 years or so, really focusing on partnership building and the importance of us all coming together to provide support to children and families. And to kick us off, we have some greetings from some very special people in our community that are making big differences. And so I would like to invite Councilwoman Mary Kay Abuzuwader to the screen to share some greetings. But Mary Kay has been an advocate for really bridging community and law enforcement for a very long time. And I don't know how she does it, because she is so involved and so present in so many things in our community. And so on behalf of myself and the Kellen Foundation, I just thank you for your involvement in the community and for the work that you do across our community. So Mary Kay.
Thank you, Dr. Graves. I'm very honored to be here. I've been a small part of the MOU agreements for several years, and it is always very touching and emotional to a point to see everyone come together for the same purpose. You know, when violence and trauma affect a family, the coordinated response with the Kellen Foundation and all of the CRI partners ensures that families will have access to the appropriate resources for them. You know, every act of violence is different. And, you know, there's domestic violence, family separation, homicides, assault situations, sexual assaults. And with the CRI and with everyone coming together to sign this MOU, it certainly shows that everyone is on the same page to try to make sure that every single child and every single family has everything they need to navigate the horrible trauma they have just been through. You know, everyone comes together on what is possibly the worst day of someone's life. Knowing that all the partners are able to, you know, come together quickly and to ensure that everyone gets the resources they need. So, you know, and working with law enforcement, they are a huge part of what makes this so special, bridging the gap, building those relationships. So thank you, Dr. Kelly Graves, the Kellen Foundation, and every single partner who is here today to sign this agreement to help those who are the most in need. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your time and energy and just passion for serving the community. We appreciate you joining us today, and thank you for your unwavering support over so many years and how you've contributed to supporting so many families in our community.
Thank you, Dr. Graves.
Absolutely. I next invite City Councilwoman Sharon Hightower, who we have been honored to know and to partner with for many, many years. Councilwoman Hightower has been a supporter of CRI for you know, almost since the beginning, and has always been present at events, and we've partnered on multiple community needs, including Heritage House and different unfortunate disasters that have happened in our community. And so we look forward to continuing to partner with her, and I welcome her to the virtual stage to share remarks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Graves, and good afternoon, everyone. So glad to see so many faces I haven't seen in quite a while. With the pandemic eliminating in-person contact, it's good we can virtually hang out. And so I'm glad to be a part of that. First, I'm honored to be here and that you included me in the MOU signing agreement. But you are so right. Our relationships and our partnership have been very valuable to this community. I think Councilwoman Abuzuwader said it all when she talked about the various ways that you serve this community in so many ways. And you and I just did something recently to help someone at Christmas time, and you did that and many other occasions before. And so I know where your heart is, and I know where your passion is, and I've seen it firsthand, and I've enjoyed working with it. And I thank you for what you all do and for being willing to step up and step in. Sometimes, you know, people see a need, but they're not sure how to address it. You just address it. And we have found ways, and you're right. You go back to Heritage House, and I particularly remember Heritage House, as we still are dealing with it today. But we impacted so many lives, and you were very important part of that. And I remember Mandy, who I miss so much, and Lisa. And while it was what I consider a horrible place, it was trauma there too. It was people living really in horrible situations, and you all stepped up, and there were children and grandmas and all of that, and you were an integral part of that. So I wanted to thank you. I especially remember one night there was a family that had to move under dark, and you stepped in. So people don't really know what you do to the level that you do. So I want to personally thank you for all that you do, all that your team does, and all the partners do to support you and lift you up, to have you in this community. And I will always love to be a part of anything that you do because it is so positive and so impactful for the city. So thank you, and thank you for having me this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for those really kind remarks. And you hit the nail on the head. It takes partners, and it certainly wasn't just me or the Kellen Foundation. It really is the partnership. It's that village approach that I think we all value so much, that we can do so much more together than we can on our own. And so thank you so much for your kind remarks. We also have worked over the last decade plus with County Commissioner Kay Cash. With County Commissioner Kay Cashin, who will be joining us and sharing some remarks. County Commissioner Kay Cashin has been so involved in so many of the pieces in our community that touch mental health and substance abuse, from her involvement with the launch of the Guilford County Family Justice Center to the recent launch of the Guilford County Crisis Center. This is an area that she's passionate about, and supporting people across our community that have mental health and substance abuse concerns. And so I welcome County Commissioner Cashin to the stage.
Good afternoon. I started to say good morning, but we have passed the mark. Good afternoon, everyone, and it's great to be with you today. And Kelly, I sat here looking at you and trying to remember how long we have been on this journey together. And you look just as young as you did when I saw you at UNCG many years ago, but you have been focused and you've been effective in leadership. And I turn to what you're doing so many times as a checkpoint of where we are in the community and services. So thank you and your group for all the work that you do. As we look back over this past year of uncertainties, we know there has been an even greater impact on those vulnerable in our community. Uncertainty and stress lead to actions that cause violence and trauma. We see it again and again. We see more homelessness, more job insecurity, particularly for those at the lower income levels. Students trying to learn virtually, and then, okay, we're going to school, but no, now we're going to be virtual again. Just so many changes to deal with. And then they, lose contact with some of their friends, and they're stranded and isolated, and that causes stress there and causes stress within the family. And even childcare issues at all levels, no matter what level of employment, those are there. From our healthcare workers to our teachers to mothers who are trying to hold jobs, single mothers in particular who don't have the resources of either family or dollars to turn to different directions. But, it's just an uncertain time. And when there's so much uncertainty, people don't know how to plan. They don't know what the day is going to bring. On a situation today, a mother and two children who are searching for some answers. And, it tugs at your heart. But we have those issues day in and day out. A lot of our changes over the last couple of years have been due to having to deal with COVID-19 and the various variances. So that's produced illnesses in the families that have to be dealt with. And some don't have insurance, and so they're hesitant to go ahead. All of these things create stress in the family, and that level of stress and uncertainty leads to a lot of violence and trauma that might not happen if things were more stable. So, we have to consider everyday situations and know that we may not know what we're going to be dealing with the rest of today, much less tomorrow. So we get to a point where we must depend on those of you who stand by to listen to the needs and to assist and to help those in need find ways to cope. And sometimes it might be temporary, but temporary can lead to some permanent help. So those of you who are part of this MOU signing, re-signing, thank you. Thank you for sticking with it and knowing that the community needs you. They need you sometimes when they don't know they need you, but you're there. You're there. So thank you to everyone who was a part of today's recognition, and especially for caring. I know it's tough, but you do it because you not only must, but you do it because you want to do it. And that makes the difference. Your heart is there, each and every one of you. So thank you. I could sit here and call out a number of names that I know were tuned in to this meeting today. But just know that each one of you, each and every one of you, is so important to this community, to holding it together, to being there, particularly on a day like today, a cold day. I mean, how many people out here are in need today? And we're going to hear, I know, a lot more about this, but I'll just reiterate, you are important to the community. We thank you for being there. So be safe, stay warm, and keep up the spirit. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much for your kind remarks. And just for everyone that is joining today, I think, the theme of the heart for the work is coming through. And I think every agency, every partner that's on this call has a heart to do this work and really wants to make a difference. And that really is, at the core of the why of why we do this work. We do this work so that we can support those who may not be in the same position that we're in. We do this work because we've seen the disparities that are present across our community, and COVID has just ripped that open and made that even more clear. So we do this work too because we can't do it by ourselves. The partnerships are so critical. We have seen over and over that our community is pretty resource rich. I mean, we do have a lot of resources in our community, but what we see sometimes is the coordination of those resources sometimes can use some strengthening. And so the trauma provider network and the CRI program in particular really does work to create that bridge from crisis to community. How do we build out structures so that we can help families who might have experienced a crisis get connected to the resources that help them be safe and well? That really is the crux of why we do this work. We are blessed in our community to have great crisis centers like the FJC and the new crisis center, Guilford County Crisis Center. So the crisis pieces are really there. We're excited to be able to provide the support to be the bridge from that crisis to wellness in the work that we do with the network and the CRI program. So I want to just give a quick shout out to anyone on the call around on our board of directors, as well as our Kellen Foundation CRI team members. And you'll hear from each of them today, but Melanie Garner is our lead CRI advocate. Lisa Taylor has been a CRI advocate with us for many, many years. Leland Wingfield is our deputy director with the Kellen Foundation and supports the CRI team as well. So you'll hear from each of those throughout the call today. And I'm about to pass the mic to the man of the hour in terms of providing support, but I wanted just to pause to see, we've had a lot of people that have come in. I wanted to pause and see if there are any other elected officials on our call, because we certainly want to recognize you as part of the ceremony.
Yes, my name is Betty Jenkins, District 7 Board of Education. Thank you very much.
So glad to have you. Thank you so much for joining today and for all your hard work. I mean, the Board of Education and just education in general has been working so hard. So thank you so much for all of your work on what you do to support kids and families every day. Any other elected officials on the call? All right, well, without further ado, I'm excited to pass the mic to a key partner in the CRI initiative, and that is our police chief, Chief Brian James with the Greensboro Police Department, who has not been in the role for a very long time, but has made a significant impact as chief and just, in just the last year and a half or so. And stepping into that role right when COVID began to hit. So kudos to you for the shifting and the growth that your department has had, and our longstanding partnership with the CRI program since it really began. And so we're excited to continue to partner with you moving forward, and I'm honored to pass the mic to you for remarks.
All right, thank you, Dr. Graves, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak. One thing that we talk about is that we as law enforcement, as police, we simply can't do everything. So we have to rely on partners like the Kellen Foundation and the CRI program to provide those services that we can't provide, but we can refer. So, first of all, the CRI program, it advocates that law enforcement works side by side to support children and families and adults who've been impacted by violence and trauma in our community. And that's so important because as that trauma affects that family, it creates more situations going forward. So we look at it as not only as a service measure to that family, but as a preventive measure to try to avoid post-trauma crisis in the future, especially for children and overall family. So as a post-crisis response team, CRI advocates to provide a trauma-informed response and to intervene early after exposure to trauma or violence. So they work to explain the natural reactions to traumatic experience. They provide high-quality referrals to address the complex needs that many families have. And they also serve as a bridge from crisis to wellness. And that's so important. So the Greensboro Police Department, we're very proud that we've had a long history of working in partnership with the CRI program, beginning back in 2008 with one part-time advocate, and it's certainly grown over that time. The CRI program has grown tremendously over the past decade, providing services to almost 40,000 children, families, and adults in Greensboro. And that's certainly a lot of people. And one thing that we can't always do is we can't measure prevention. It's hard to measure what didn't happen, but I assure you that there are some things that did not happen because of the services provided through the CRI program. So over the past 14 years, the CRI program has shifted and evolved, but the dedication of the CRI team to support not only GPD officers and individuals across the community has remained steadfast. And even more so, CRI is now nationally recognized as a model that has been replicated in multiple jurisdictions across the country. So as law enforcement, our role is to ensure public safety, but we also know that people need to feel safe after a crisis as well. And the CRI team helps to complete safety assessments and bridge families to resources that they need in order to stay safe and well. So this is essential because we know that exposure to violence and trauma increases the likelihood that victims will later become offenders. This creates a cycle of violence that can be difficult to halt. So it's very important to note that victims later become offenders. So when we talk about serving our children and talking about trying to prevent future events from occurring, this is very critical and very important. And the CRI program has played a huge role in that. So the earlier that we attend to the needs of these families, the better. And the CRI program does just that. They work to break the cycle and to provide timely support to families by responding within 48 hours of the event to support that family. So it's very important that that service be provided immediately after that traumatic event in order to provide the counseling services and the overall support that that family needs. So we often talk about investments in children, and the CRI program is certainly an investment in children as we work to break the cycle of trauma and violence. So as we look at it from a community standpoint, we talk about in the police department partnering to make Greensboro safe for all people. Partnering is very key. And when we talk about partnering with the Kellen Foundation, the CRI staff, and all the support staff, that's very important because we certainly can't do this work by ourselves. If we talk about investment in community, that has to start with the children, because if we don't invest in our children, then we're certainly not investing in our future. So I want to thank Dr. Kelly Graves and the work of the Kellen Foundation and the staff for all they do to assist the Greensboro Police Department as we work to end violence and to create safe communities for all of our citizens. Because we certainly believe that no matter where you live, no matter your background, your socioeconomic status, we all deserve to be safe. It's a basic right, and we all deserve to have the services that we need, especially in times like this, as we've talked about how COVID has really widened the gap between those that have and those that do not have. Certainly services like the CRI program and the Kellen Foundation as a whole, they are very important to communities that have historically been underserved. And it's our job and our responsibility as community providers, as community servants, to provide these services to our underserved populations. So Dr. Graves, thank you for all that you do. Thank you for all that your staff does. And thank you for working with the Greensboro Police Department. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much for your leadership and just helping our community in so many ways. And I can't agree more that all kids, no matter what zip code they live in, no matter what background, everyone, all of our children deserve to be safe and well, and should be safe and well. And so we're honored to work towards that mission in partnership with the police department, who's focused on the public safety piece, and us focused on the after crisis piece and all of the different pieces that fit the puzzle together to create a community that's safe and well. And that really is the crux of what CRI is all about. So if there's anybody on the call that's just kind of learning more about the CRI model and joining here, we're really all are about a coordinated community response that brings together all of these partners to address the needs of children and families. And the goal is to break the cycle and for children that have been exposed to violence to get the interventions that they need as soon as possible to decrease the impact of exposure of that violence on their development, but also not just in the moment in their developmental stage where they're at in the moment, but also for generations to come, and providing that support to families so that 911 calls don't happen again and again and again, right? So how do we decrease the likelihood of additional exposure to violence as well? So that is kind of the background of the CRI model. And just to kind of give you a flavor of success stories with the model, Melanie Garner and Lisa Taylor, our CRI advocates, are going to join and share a family success story in partnership with several officers with GPD.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Melanie Garner, the lead CRI advocate. And I just want to say thank you all for being here. Thank you for the kind words this morning. And thank you, Chief James, for your support. And I want to kind of go back to what County Commissioner Kay Cashin said. There's been so much uncertainty and stress over the past year, in particular with COVID and the virtual learning, and it's really put a strain on our families. But through all of that stress and all of that trauma, we have seen some true success stories, and we have seen families that we plant that seed and they come back again. And just to see that success and to follow through and see how all of the partners come together and work towards that success is amazing. So today we're going to highlight one of our success stories that was most recent. It was in December. And I am going to introduce Detective Bonatti, who was a key catalyst in getting that ball rolling and reaching out to both Lisa and I. So he's just going to give a little background of the story, and then we'll go into how that all came together. So Bonatti, thank you for being on here. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey there. So this past fall, I became aware of an assault that occurred a young father was on his way to the bus stop to pick up his child from school, and a group of individuals had started to shoot BB guns to vandalize and otherwise assault randomly people in the area. And this young man had a projectile enter his left eye and caused him permanent blindness. Through follow-up investigations, we learned that he was going to lose his eye because of all of the medical appointments. He had lost his job because he could not maintain attendance. He was losing his housing because of his loss of employment. And when we went to speak with him, he had said that they were day-to-day on grocery items and food for their 4 young children. And this was getting to be around Christmas time, and there was no Christmas presents, there was no tree, there was no hope of that either. And so after speaking with him and seeing how dire that situation was, fortunately, I've been able to work with you, Melanie, over the years, and I knew that if I needed to call and either just have suggestions, or if I could reach out to anybody who I could trust to help, I knew sending an email to our CRI advocates was the best thing for the family. And so that's how that started.
And we truly appreciate that so much and appreciate you. And now I'm going to turn it over to Lisa to kind of wrap up the story and see how we all came to. But I will add, this is a Spanish-speaking family. So we pulled in quite the crew to help here. But Benadi, thank you for your help, and thank you for reaching out and for all of the years we've worked together, and for trusting the CRI program and reaching out. So again, thanks so much. Lisa?
Thank you so much, Melanie, and thank you, Detective Benadi, and all those that are on the call with us on today. We so appreciate you. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and introduce Lieutenant Ricketts. I work in D2, and I turned this over to Lieutenant Ricketts and said, how can you help us? We need to pull together as many people as we can to make sure that we help this family. And when I tell you, he did not waste any time in making sure that everyone pretty much in the department that was there that day got together and did what they had to do. So without me belaboring the time any longer, I want to go ahead and turn this over to Lieutenant Ricketts.
Thank you, Lisa. And again, thank you, CRI, for assisting us with this project. But I have to give a big shout out to Officer Guy and Officer Mevin. Because of their relationship and their drive, we were able to get another partner to assist us with this program. Amazon came through with a lot of items to help us deliver to that family. So Officer Guy and Officer Mevin, they put that together. They coordinated the pickup. We had to go through the items to decipher, what good items we can give, what good items we couldn't. They've also collected money from our division to assist with purchasing items for that family and others. So I just want to say thank you to those 2 officers for helping us put this together, and Lisa for bringing our attention to that family. We couldn't have done it without the partnerships. That's very, very important with our police department to partner with other organizations. And this shows right here, this one particular family, and shows that we partner with 2 different organizations, and we were able to, help that family out tremendously. So again, all I have to say is thank you for bringing that to our attention, Lisa, and CRI, and Officer Guy and Officer Mevin for putting it together and coordinating the logistics and delivery. I just played a small portion in making sure that this project was done, and we still follow up. Hopefully they will still be following up with the family after I'm gone. So we appreciate you guys, and CRI, I've been here since you started, I think it was 2008. So we appreciate you, and it's a proven fact that without partnerships, the Greensboro Police Department could not accomplish our mission as well as we do today with your assistance and your help. So thank you again, Dr. Graves, Ms. Taylor, and there was another lady that was very instrumental. She passed away when the program first came to our department. She used to come bring us cookies and was very kind and introduced the program to us. So forgive me for not remembering her name, but if you can give her a shout out, she helped bring this program to fruition as well.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant. I appreciate that. He's kind of taking the low road there. He did more than just assign his people to go with us. They did the organizing, and also I want to mention Beverly, the administrative assistant. She too put her money together and was a part, along with Sergeant Coggins. He got together and then he reached out to his wife, who is a nurse at Moses Cone, and then she collected money from that staff. And we did use the language line. Like Melanie said, there were so many different pieces. And then we had our community engagement where Melanie and they allowed us to come up on the 3rd floor and go through all the gifts that were even there. So we were able to pull from so many different pockets. So thanks to also Regina and also Josie for that. But like I was saying, Lieutenant Ricketts got also in his car, personally loaded up everything and went over to the family's home with us and made sure, and they couldn't have been more happy, and to be able to see all of us there on the scene like that, giving and showing so much love. And just to add this in, not only did we provide the Christmas for them and provide the monies to be able to help them move to the home, to their next house, because they did find housing. And again, that was even through Housing Coalition, and everybody pulled together with that. But Christmas Day was that father's birthday. And so that was also so touching as well, knowing that it was on that day that Christmas came, that he was able to be delighted that, yes, I'm here. I don't want to end my life because this happened to me and I'm gonna have to watch my family falter, but I could actually not just celebrate my birthday, but celebrate the day that I'm alive to be able to help my children and my family. So thank you everyone that was a part of that. And again, thank you for this time, Dr. Graves, and for allowing us. And it was the Kellum Foundation and Sharon Hightower as well that stepped into. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity to be able to do it. God bless you all. Melanie.
Thank you, Lisa, and thank you, Lieutenant Ricketts and Detective Bonatti and everyone else. I also want to add the FJC was involved in the beginning, and we are still currently working with the family on connecting them to services and following up. Just wanted to get through the holidays, and we are still working with them now. So that is a true story of wraparound, and just all an example of all that we pulled in and those partnerships. So I thank you, Lisa, and thank you everyone who was a part of that. So we're going to move on now to some of our awards. So these are our CRI 2021 awards. We've got 4 of them. So Lisa, I'm going to let you start with Officer of the Year for 2021.
Yes, that's going to be Officer Thayer, and I know she cannot be with us on today, and neither could her Sergeant Carter. But again, Lieutenant Ricketts is here, so you can take pride and make sure that you know that your officer has been chosen to be Officer of the Year. We're not just we don't just get how many referrals. We don't just add up how many referrals we have to be able to say, oh, you gave us, so many per month, but it's the detail that you put in those referrals. It's the heart that you put in there to let us know. And if you can't reach us for whatever reason by email, if you don't hear back, then you make a phone call, you do whatever you have to do. You go above and beyond to make sure that that family is taken care of. And then again, you're, also involving other partners to make sure that that family is okay. And this is something that Officer Thayer does. So we just want to congratulate her again for getting the CRI Officer of the Year. Thank you, Lieutenant Ricketts, for your command support.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Lisa. Okay, next we're going to do District of the Year for 2021. And I am so happy to announce our District of the Year is District 3. And I'm not sure if Captain Tabler is on here, but I do want to recognize District 3 as truly stepping up, the patrol officers, amazing referrals, amazing detail referrals, and just the true support from District 3 and all of the districts, but I would love to recognize all of them, but District 3 this year is our 2021 District of the Year. So thank you. If anyone is on here from District 3, I think Lieutenant Steinberg is on here. Corporal Brashino, thank you all for your work. Amazing work, and we appreciate you. Next is going to be our Community Partner of the Year for 2021. And I'm happy to announce that is Parker White and Backpack Beginnings. We want to thank you for continuing to support us and stepping up in every way possible, including just now in the chat. I saw you, Parker, Wright, with the food, so for the family. So you and your team are amazing, and I really appreciate you opening your doors to let us come in and shop for food, shop for clothing, and just continuing to be a supporter across the board and for your partnership. So we're also happy to have you on this year as one of our signing partners. So thank you so much, Backpack Beginnings. All right, so now I'm going to hand it over to Lisa to announce our Champion for Children Award.
Champion for Children is going to be Corporal Sherry Brashino. And she is not on the call today, but is she on the call? Is she here?
She is here. She made it.
Where is she? She made it. Yay! She made it on the call. I know she was not going to be able to make it due to. But congratulations, Champion for Children. We are so happy to be able to give that to you. You have just been instrumental from the very, very beginning, from the time that you used to be over, at D2, even walking around and coming in and making sure that we were able to know what was going on the radar. I've been in that car with you so many times where we've actually had to go on site to make sure that someone was being taken care of. So you absolutely are a champion for children. I know Melly has the same exact type of interaction with you that, she can see through Safety Town and so many other things that you do for the community. We just appreciate you, and we say congratulations. You are our champion for children. Yay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So glad you made it, Sherry, and
Yes.
Corporal Brashino, we're so glad you're here. And I just want to reiterate, you truly are a champion for children in every possible way. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart, even with my own children, one is sitting in this room right here. So kudos to you for Safety Town and going above and beyond in every way. So I truly appreciate you for everything you do, and you are a champion, my friend. Mm-hmm. So thank you. And thank you, everyone, all of our award winners, all of our recipients. We do appreciate all of your hard work and everything you do. And now we want to recognize our partners. So I'm going to hand it over to Kelly, and this is what we're here for. And this is what we want to recognize all of you and all of the work each of your agencies are doing with us and on your own. You're all amazing. So Kelly, it's all yours.
All right, what an inspirational time to spend today, and all of the hard work that the officers are putting in, and our community partners. Backpack Beginnings, congrats on your expansion that's getting ready to happen, or is happening, or in the process right now. So congrats on that. And just really the crux of the heartbeat really of CRI is all about partnerships. So as we get to recognizing the partners for our MOA, I just want to kind of keep that in mind, that we're all doing this work because we want to support kids and families, and we recognize that we can do that most effectively when we lean on each other in the process, from housing to tutoring to food to mental health services to healthcare. All of those different pieces are so critical, and together we can help address the communities most effectively. So we're going to recognize all of our MOA partners that are joining us, and we have some additional partners that are joining us this year that we're excited to have on board. And so Melanie and Lisa are going to guide us through the MOA partners that are joining us, and just want to thank you in advance for your partnership, and looking forward to all the good that we can do. There's a lot of stuff that we could focus on right now that is not so great, right? And there are times like this and meetings like this and opportunities like this that allow us to see the good that's really happening too, and continuing to build that good and that hope for our community as well. So Melanie and Lisa, take it away.
Thank you, Kelly. And Lisa, before you start going through our partners, I do want to say, recognizing each one of you, we're going to give you just a minute to, if you'd like to speak up, if you'd like to say a few words. So once again, we really, truly thank you all for everything. So without saying anything else and keeping this conversation going, Lisa, it is all you to start with our partners.
All right, again, this is the exciting part. Let's go ahead and first and foremost, we want to say the Greensboro Police Department. We wouldn't be able to do what we are doing if it was not for the Greensboro Police Department for us to receive all of those referrals. So they are at the top of our list for our partner. Chief?
Thank you so much, Lisa. And I actually, it's funny, Lisa, you're one of the first people I remember from CRI. No disrespect to anyone else, but we were down on South Elm Eugene Street, working out of that office back then. And when I was just getting familiar with the program about, I guess about 10 or 12 years ago now. And, what we do, again, and I say this in all sincerity, the police just can't do everything. We just don't always have the skill set for the follow-up. We can go out and investigate the crime. We can console people at the scene as best we can. But when you look at that actual follow-up that hopefully mitigates that trauma on the front end and avoids the horrible situations that can happen on the back end, you need services like CRI. So we're appreciative of having that service available. We're appreciative of the ability to refer those families to you so you can provide that assistance. So thank you so much, Lisa, Melanie, Dr. Graves. I don't want to leave anyone out, but thank you everybody from the Kellen Foundation for what you do. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you. And next we have the Amethyst. Amethyst, where consulting and treatment solutions meet together. Amethyst, they are our next partner. And I don't know if they're on the call or not. We have Backpack Beginnings, who was one of our winners on today. Backpack Beginnings. Parker, you have something you wanted to say?
Yes, I just want to thank y'all so much. One, for the honor, but two, just we're proud to be a partner with the Kellen Foundation. As y'all have all echoed, it really takes a village and a team to wrap around these children, and we're glad to be part of that team. As Kelly mentioned, we're in the middle of a move. Well, not this second because the weather isn't quite cooperating, but we're trying to get out of our space and into a new space this week and eventually open a family market where the families can come to us and pick out the items they need and give them that dignity of choice to choose their own food, children's clothing, toys, books, all the basic needs that the children have. So we're really excited to just partner with you all, and thank you for all you all do.
Thank you so much. And I didn't want to leave out anyone. I have Vita that's on here from Amethyst. She says she is here. So we're glad that Amethyst is with us on today. Did you want to say something, Vita? We don't want to leave you out.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is Vita from Amethyst, and we appreciate all that Kellen Foundation does. Thank you for the email updates on how much you do for the community. We have partnered in the past, and we look forward to our continued partnership with the youth that we serve. So we definitely do appreciate all that you do in the community.
Phenomenal. Thank you so much. And then we have Guilford County Department of Health and Human Services. And also with us, we have Family Service of the Piedmont.
Hello, everybody. It's been great to be a part of CRI for a very long time, pretty much since the beginning, going all the way back to Lindy Beauregard and Mandy and Teresa Johnson and all the other chiefs that I am going to forget all of their names, so I will just not do that and embarrass myself. But it's great to be a partner with CRI and the Kellen Foundation and everybody else. So it's good to see everybody's face on the call. Hope everybody's warm and safe.
Thank you. And we have Guilford County CAN, the Child Advocacy Network. And we also have the SAVE Foundation. Therapeutic Alternatives. The YWCA. Guilford County Family Justice Center.
Hey everyone, glad to be here. Thank you for this partnership. We're super grateful for CRI and Kellen and all of the wonderful people on this call and the people who aren't here as well, making our community safer for children and families. So thank you.
Thank you. We also have Youth Villages. I love their logo, the force for families. They're a force to be reckoned with. Youth Villages.
Hi, you guys. I'm Maggie. I'm the regional supervisor out of our Greensboro office. So thank you all. We enjoy partnering. I know this year has been my first year kind of joining in, so I've been very welcomed and I'm excited to continue the partnership with you all.
Thank you so much. And then we have the Children's Home Society. Triad Adult and Pediatric Medicine. Youth Focus.
Hey everyone, my name is Ashlyn Hodges and I am a trauma therapist that works for Youth Focus. I just want to say that we are honored to be a part of a collaborative that we're so passionate about, and I can't wait to see what all we all can do together this year and coming up in the future for the families that we serve. So glad to be here and thank you for all that you do, everyone.
Thank you, Ashlyn. Another logo I love, Help Today and Hope for Tomorrow for Youth Focus. That's wonderful. We're all doing that. Also, the Women's Resource Center of Greensboro. And that is all I have on my list. I think Dr. Graves is going to go ahead and take it from there and talk about some other people and some things that are going on with CRI. But thank you all so very much. And again, we just appreciate the fact that you have decided to sign with us again and that you're going to continue on with us. Dr. Graves.
Awesome. And we have one more, I think, logo that we skipped over, and that is Children's Law Center. So I wanted
Oh, I thought that was a part of your new announcement.
They have joined us as part of the MOU, and so wanted to give the opportunity of Children's Law Center. Would like to
definitely, definitely.
Hello, thank you so much, Kelly and Lisa. This is Iris Sunshine. I'm the executive director of the Children's Law Center, Central North Carolina, and we are delighted to be partnering formally with CRI and the Kellen Foundation. We've certainly been working with CRI's team for a number of years, and particularly our team in Greensboro and throughout Guilford County, Paige Gilliard, our supervising attorney, and staff attorney Catherine Corey, who are also on the call. So we are really looking forward to being a part of this network and working together with everyone as we also try to break that cycle of violence for the children who are our young clients.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining. And we're so excited for all of the partners that have renewed and all of the partners that have joined us, and continuing to look at how to expand partnerships and continue to add resources. You know, there is the families that we're working with often have very complex needs. And so we're always looking for partners and people that we could work with and that are ways in which we can support families to be safe and well moving forward. And speaking of moving forward, I know there are a lot of partners that that were mentioned today, and some partners that we work with more informally that were not able to be on the call today with weather curveballs and, you know, all the different things that are happening. But we do just definitely want to recognize and express our appreciation and support for being able just to work together on a regular basis. We are, in terms of looking ahead, we are continuing to think about how we can support our community. And one of the ways that we heard from our trauma provider network over the last year and a half or so is to really think about how we continue to coordinate services and at the same time, look at how we help support systems change. And so towards that end, in terms of, CRI looking forward and the trauma provider net looking forward, we're also looking at growing our resilient Guilford network. It's called the RGN. And so I just wanted to mention that in case you're interested in plugging into that as well. The resilient Guilford network is going to be looking at creating community and systems change that support our community. And the trauma provider network will be an action team that'll work underneath the resilient Guilford network. And so there will be a way that our ongoing trauma provider network can continue to feed into community and systems level work, so that we have both an active provider network that's coordinating services at the service level, and also a way to share our voice at the service level to participate in community and systems level change. And so there'll be opportunities to lift up our collective provider voice as part of the trauma provider network, to share what we're seeing on the ground and the kinds of needs that our families are facing, and make sure that we can be a voice for those families as we're looking at how we support community and systems change with the Resilient Guilford Network. That network is open to anybody that would like to participate in that as well. And so we'll make sure to send all the information about that. But I think that's a really important piece of looking ahead of how we continue to, as a provider network, coordinate services with the families that we're working with, and help to elevate their voice of what they're saying, what the needs are, and where are the gaps and those kinds of things, and feed them in to systems and community level change. So really excited about those linkages. We're continuing to look forward to partnering with other groups that are growing, such as the Behavioral Health Response Team that is really growing within the Greensboro Police Department, and providing that on-the-scene crisis response for behavioral health needs. And we're really finding a good balance between the on-the-scene crisis response that the Behavioral Health Response Team is really focusing on, and how we can provide behind-the-scenes support post-crisis for those kids and families in particular that may have complex needs, so that there is not another call to the scene related to children and families. And so we're working together to figure out how to find the best way to support families by leveraging all of the expertise across the partners on the call today and across our communities, and thinking about how do we serve as that bridge and connector in the most effective way. Keeping at the forefront in terms of what our motto for 2022 and has been beyond is, what is best for this child and family, and trying to use that as a North Star for how we work with families this year and moving forward. So with that being said, I'm going to open the floor to see if there's anybody that would like to make any final comments, remarks, announcements, etc., before we wrap up for the day.
Yes, hi. Again, my name is Betty Jenkins, and I want to thank you very much for the invitation to come on board. I would like to thank you for all you do for the Guilford County School students, because we have a need much more than what we can take care of. So it does take a village. I know we have had some challenges as far as virtual learning, as far as transportation, but when you come together, we can fix the problem. So I'm hoping that, like we came together with the transportation, with the virtual learning to make sure students continue to learn, we will come together also to make sure our schools are a safe place for learning. That meaning that we need to make sure we get our schools fixed. So I am definitely counting on the county commissioners to help us with that. So thank you very much for the invitation. I look forward to seeing you at the next meeting.
So glad you were able to join. And I think, we are preaching to the choir, so to speak, because we know that when children don't feel safe, it is very hard for them to learn. Think about trying to be on a roller coaster and learning your math facts at the same time. We've probably all been on a roller coaster. You feel that adrenaline, right? And trying to learn something at the same time you're going up and down a roller coaster. It is very challenging. And in terms of how children's brains work, that's what it's like, is if they're feeling really unsafe, they're trying to learn stuff at the same time they're on that roller coaster. And so I appreciate you lifting up that the safety needs of children are going to be critical to learning and development in general. Absolutely.
Dr. Graves, this is Lisa. I just wanted to mention that Trent is on the call from the Children's Home Society. He wrote something wonderful in the chat, but didn't want to leave him out as one of our partners, and they've been with us for a while, if he wanted to say a few words.
Yes, thank you.
No, thank you. I think I'm good. I appreciate that. I think this is a great call. Very excited to see what 2022 holds. And we're very excited to sign that MOU and really hope that Kellen Foundation continues to do the good work they're doing. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Trent. And I see Michelle Gill-Moffitt as one of our board of directors has also commented. Thank you for the board support of this program over the years as well.
I also saw that Regina Gillespie joined, and I want to say, Regina, thank you for your work in the community engagement and working with CRI. You were part of our success story, and I hate that you missed that, but I just want to thank you and spotlight you. So thank you for being on here.
Thank you.
Any other thoughts, comments, or remarks that anybody would like to make before we wrap up? All right, look at that. We were so efficient at building these networks and partnerships that we are actually done a few minutes early. And I'm sure everyone could use a couple minutes in between meetings and in between responsibilities. Thank you all so much for joining today. To all of the partners, both renewing and new partners and supporters on the call. We look forward to continuing to make a difference together in 2022 and beyond. Stay safe and well. And if you have any questions or need any information about the programs or resources, feel free to reach out. Until we see you next time, thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you.